Hello everyone, my name is Pixelriffs. Welcome to your Tuesday Minecraft live stream. You know what day it is. Welcome in. Hello. Good to have you all here. Welcome to another Minecraft stream. We're going to be doing some Snapshot stuff today. Hope you guys are excited for that. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you folks here. How are you doing? How's your week? Mossing around, exactly. Exactly. What's up, Danny? Got a pizza? Hello, Ginger, Evil Shadow, Nate Gaming, E Numbers, Marie Cloud. Hello, Gabbert. Hello, J Neil. Hi, Install M. Welcome in, Mr. Newty. What's up, Balna? Good to see you. Fry. Welcome in, Fry. Hello, Zeke. Good morning. Just poured yourself a mug of tea when this notification popped up. Ah, that's the spirit, Ducky. That's the spirit. Had to choose between me and Azuma. Nah, dual wield it. Multiple monitors. That's what it's about. You got to have a screen like the guy in Watchmen has, where there's like 50 different streamers all going at once. That's how you really watch Twitch. That's some next level stuff. Did I change the background? Oh, I have like a little bit less stuff over there right now because we had a D&D session the other night, and so my my DM screen and all the books are downstairs. So right now, Sully is being propped up by like a set of Xbox 360 games that I discovered in a cupboard the other day. Tatiana, thank you so much for 14 months. Thank you so much for stopping in with the resub. Welcome back. And Sam, got your vaccine yesterday and feeling well, and a 5-month resub. Happy lady. Well, thank you so much, Sam, and congrats on getting your vaccine. Hopefully that day will come soon for a lot of other folks as well. Awesome stuff. Thank you. A scientific method, more or less, yeah. I mean, I don't know if we have much of a control experiment, but the idea today is we're going to be testing out something that I've already been working on a little bit for a video for tomorrow. But when I was talking to Joel on the Spawn Chunks podcast yesterday, episode's out now, spawnchunks.com or wherever you find podcasts, Joel and I were talking about moss from Lush Caves and how, because it replaces stone and even stuff like deep slate and all of the decorative stone types, but doesn't replace ore blocks, you could potentially use that to mine for blocks which are like hidden in the walls, basically. A lot of the ore generation in the newer snapshots is not exposed to the air, and so Joel reasoned that one of the things you could do to try and expose more of those blocks is to get some moss, spread it over a wider area with bone meal, and then remove the moss instantly with an axe, and all of those blocks are just gone without you needing to have a beacon or anything like that, because moss can be insta-mined with an iron axe or better. So what I'm planning on doing is trying that out in survival, starting a fresh snapshot world. It's going to be in regular world generation, because I want to go and find a village and see if we can basically buy a bunch of diamond axes from a weaponsmith. And with that, we're going to basically spawn in one block of moss, because you can't get it in default survival worlds right now. Go down into deep slate layers and see if we can mine for diamonds using moss. So I'm kind of interested to see how this is going to work. I've been trying it out in like more experimental conditions, just like spawning myself in diamond axes and just chopping the entire thing down in survival with a single chunk. But I think it's going to be better if you use it as a mining tool more circumstantially, because it's going to be, you're going to get limited amounts of resources from just one chunk, right? So that's the idea for today's stream. We're going to be hopping into a brand new snapshot world. And I don't have like a seed prepared for this or anything, so I don't know for certain if we're going to have, a village close by. We might have a little bit of trouble finding a village. I need to allow cheats. We're just going to leave it on normal difficulty. Like, I don't really care that much. We're going to do moss mining method 1. And as far as world options go, default world type is basically all we need. Let's just get into it. You need a stone axe to insta-mine, but its durability is bad. Yeah, what I'm thinking is we probably need to go with diamond axes, just because, you'll need iron for a couple of other things. I'm also planning on making a couple of hoppers and composters so that we can get started with... Wow, okay, great spawn. So we can get started with composting stuff early. I think is probably going to be the best way forward. But, yeah, we're just going to be playing through this in survival, and otherwise it's just going to be like a survival stream, more or less, in the snapshot. feel like hose or shovel should be the preferred tool to gather moss. It's funny, because I was thinking of moss as more of like a dirt block, so I thought the shovel was going to be the best tool for it, but I don't know where. Maybe just because it's an organic block that's kind of consistent with wood and so forth. I don't know. I feel like hoes already have had a lot of functionality added to them, and I think having an axe... The only thing an axe is really good for is chopping wood and wood byproducts, so I sort of feel like maybe go with the axe, give it a little bit of extra functionality. I sort of don't mind that.
Well, that's just prime.
I've also been noticing, maybe it's because of using the recipe book or something, but for whatever reason, advancements and recipes don't pop up when you've crafted some stuff from the recipe book in this snapshot, and that's maybe just because I use the recipe book a bunch. It may be across the board that's not working, but... See, like, now I pick up that, it should tell me that I can make stone tools, yeah? Okay, cool. And that should trigger getting an upgrade. I don't know why it hasn't, but now it does. It's very, very odd. Axe seems like a pretty heavy-handed tool for moss IRL. I guess so, but... yeah, who knows? I mean, axes are good for melons and pumpkins as well. That's true, that's true. Let's make ourselves a stone axe to begin with. And we'll use that as the weapon for now. We'll get a shovel as well. Got enough for a furnace. That'll probably do for the minute. See if we can find some easy surface iron from one of these caves. How are you guys finding the snapshots lately? Has anyone been experimenting in them at all? Been having fun in lush cave worlds, or are you holding off until we get more expansive terrain gen? Because I honestly wasn't sure if I wanted to do another snapshot video until terrain gen kind of came out, because obviously you're having to reset things over and over again, really. Oh, now you're talking. You can get down over there. Is there any visible iron here? I feel like they've nerfed iron quite a lot. Well, apparently we're just hopping all our way over this mountain, aren't we? I'm seeing copper down there, but not iron. Now we'll take a quick look. There's a little bit of copper. It's glow lichen around there. Might be a little bit around here somewhere. Just got your first gaming PC, haven't played Minecraft on it yet. You're on Bedrock for a while? Hey, no worries. Are you planning on picking up Java, or are you going to continue on Bedrock for Windows 10? Yeah, the copper is cool. I might just grab some of this anyway, for the sake of, hey, let's mine some ores. But it's not like we're going to use it for all that much. Wasn't sure if it was going to lead into some iron or not. Right, so surface level iron is fairly scarce, it seems like. We don't really have a whole lot of wood to start, like, digging down right here. But I'm looking for a village anyway. What's up, Shax? Good to see you. I was briefly lurking on Mr. Casto's stream the other day when you lot were playing Among Us. That's pretty fun. Air exposure nerf is quite big. Yeah, it really does seem to be. Like, very little surface iron really anywhere. What's my opinion on diorite? I think it's alright. I don't really use it much, but I have no quarrel with diorite. It exists as a block. Marl, thank you so much for 7 months. Drover with a Prime sub as well. Thank you very much. Sorry if the alerts are kind of quiet again. I have the volume turned up a little louder than I normally do, but... So happy you didn't get Imposter. It's funny, there's so many people who are, like, really into playing both sides, but yeah, I'd find the Imposter stuff just a little bit too scary for me. Not like scary, but you know what I mean. A lot of pressure. That's why I don't really play games like that. I'm not too keen on, like, lying to people. I find that kind of difficult. Some more copper. Still no iron. Alright, well, let's go looking around for a a village if we can find one. Generated structures will be on, so hopefully we can find one out here on the snow plains. Definitely be able to kill some rabbits if we can find them. And yeah, mobs is always the tricky part of spawning in a biome like this. But hey, it's given us a bit of a challenge. I like that. Is this a new type of world gen? This is the same world gen from last week's Snapshot. It doesn't have... It's not the single biome lush cave world. It's a regular world. But I was just curious about spawning myself in a block of moss and seeing how we could get on mining that way. And we'll do that once we get down to deep slate cave level. Alright, we got one rabbit hide at least. Hey, a ruined portal over here. There should be more mobs in the woods, like in the taiga. Yeah, there's probably sheep and stuff there. I'll head over there when I start needing beds. Oh, okay. Sharpness 5 sword. Thorns, aqua affinity helmets. Mending gold shovel. Interesting, but enough iron to craft an ingot, which is enough for a shield, and then I'll be a lot happier. Tell you what, let's get the furnace on the go now. Cook up the rabbit hide so at least I have something to eat and I don't starve. We're on normal anyway, so I wouldn't properly starve, but still. Been doing a lot of mining, a lot of jumping around. Craft this into an ingot. Yeah, recipes aren't popping up, which is weird to me. Can I have a shield, please? Good thing I know half of these recipes, isn't it? There we go. Put food over there. Hey, Igloo, thanks so much for gifting that sub. Very generous of you. Gotta hold on to the rabbit. I've got the rabbit hide. The rest of the rabbit will come later. That's 2. There's cows and sheep over here as well. That's food sorted. A little bit of leather as well if we want it. Come back here. Only 3 steak from all of those? Wow. We'll cook that and the rabbit though, I guess. Is enchanting still broken in the snapshot? Probably. They haven't released another one, so... But this snapshot isn't exactly crucial. Yeah, I know rabbits dying is always kind of tragic feeling, but is what it is. Got to get that rabbit hide. And they're early food in snowy biomes like this, so can't really be too precious about them, unfortunately. Sharpness 5 gold sword, though. Feel like we might as well use that for a bit. I mean, it's got 7 attack damage. I mean, the axe has 9. It's better anyway, but still. Snowy dirt! Love that snowy dirt. So you're like, will this crit kill a sheep? I guess it will. I guess it will. So we've got 2 wool now. Won't really find as many rabbits in here, so... Ah, there's our sheep. Perfect. So now at least we are somewhat safe. And 5 mutton. Good. Okay, we're sorted for food. We've now got that advancement, I guess, because I picked it up and put it down again. Let's get ourselves a white bed. And sleep for the night in a second. And then we'll go looking for a village. So, phase 1, not too bad so far. Classic bed. Does a furnace working melt snow? It does, yeah, because of light levels. I think a furnace puts out light level 15 when it's active. So that'll be enough to melt snow. Snow melts in light level 11 and higher, I believe. Could Wardens defeat the Wither? I don't know. I don't know what Wardens are like yet. We've not actually had them in any of the snapshots. I presume, in theory, they're supposed to be heavy-hitting enough that they could, but the Wither has other, like, attack strategies than most mobs. The Warden, as far as we know, can't hit anything that's flying, so jury's still out. I'd call it for the Warden, though, because the Warden's pretty tanky, but yeah, who knows. That's probably going to be the subject of many a video whenever a new powerful mob comes out. Everyone's always curious about its abilities, so I'm sure people are going to make videos about it sooner or later. 3 rabbit hides so far, not bad. Oh, and I'm in a hole now. Did Shep put this hole here? I imagine Shep is basically like this kind of Wile E. Coyote style character now. That whenever I catch a rabbit, he's got to like deflect somehow. Oh, we got a rabbit's foot as well. We got all the bits of the rabbit now. Just gonna arrange all of these on my hotbar in case he turns up. There we go. All the rabbit pieces. It's kind of macabre when I'm hunting down some more rabbits, you know? Just walking around with all of these things dangling out of my pockets. Oh, hey, outpost. Surely that means there's a village nearby. I feel like you often get outposts completely separate from civilization, but I feel like they do often spawn in the same sort of areas as villages. I guess it's just biomes where villages can be found, though, right? Is that a mega tiger? I guess it is. There's large trees over there. Wow. Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll give the outpost a wide berth at least, but hey, yeah, mega tiger. Well, sorry, giant spruce biome, whatever it's called in the actual code. That wasn't a toast rabbit. The toast rabbit only shows up if you nickname something toast. Do you think there are foxes here? It's just this trail of dead chickens. Thanks for the feathers, though, I guess. Let's make a home among the trees just for a second here and get some more spruce wood for our journey to the center of the earth. Are swords useless now since axes are better? Nope. Absolutely not. Swords have much better enchantments. Swords can also hit multiple targets. And swords do better DPS if you time your hits correctly. Sharpness 5 sword beats out a Sharpness 5 axe because the axe is slower. In terms of PvP combat, axes are better because they stun shields and do more damage with a single hit, and you're probably not going to be able to, like, combo people with precise timing anyway, but I don't do PvP, so I don't really know. Nobody plays PvP on 1.9 plus anyway, so... What's the music in the background? It's all playing from a bot, or an app called Pretzel that has a bot in the chat, so if you see Pretzel Rocks say anything about the music, that is what the music is. In the museum building, the survival guide maybe add an exhibit for the different types of villages for different biomes. Yeah, that's the plan. We're going to have one of each different biome, like, outfit, like the different clothes and stuff. But then, obviously, if you multiply the amount of professions by the amount of possible villagers, that's like 100 or so entities. So I'd rather not have that many villagers in the museum, but we will show at least, like, one of each of the, what I guess you might call tribes of villagers. And then we'll have professions probably in all the plains villages because they have the most typical villager outfit. And it's fairly obvious what is different about each of the professions from just looking at the plains villages. Alright, that is that. We have enough rabbit hide that I don't need the dandelion anymore, so we can toss that out. Let's make another axe real fast. We've got, like, yeah, over a stack of wood. We've got a stack and a half. That's fine. That should last us for a little while. Alright, let's go looking for this quote-unquote village. See if we can find it anywhere. If this was a patrol, it would be a different story, because patrols often end up walking in the direction of villages, in my experience. But since it's an outpost, they're just going to be milling around out here, so that's not very helpful. Let's hope there is a village somewhere. There's an igloo. Research station, question mark? Oh, it'd be so good if there was a research station. Yes! Oh, and it's underwater somehow? Hello? Is the villager going to be drowning down here? Weird. Okay. Hi there. Hello. Alright, we have the golden apple. We have a splash potion of weakness. Amazing. Man, this is a great start. This is actually perfect for what we want. Because we can put our bed down here for the minute. We're not going to get any hostile mobs down here. And what do I need to make a weaponsmith? It's just like... It's a grindstone, right? So it's just stone slabs. Let's cook up a little bit more stone.
Well, that's just prime.
Hey, King Kinnan, thanks so much for 5 months of Prime. So yeah, I think Fletcher for this guy, and then weaponsmith for this guy, and then we can buy axes just for sticks. That's pretty good. Get some string for the cobweb for the bundle. Nice idea. I don't know if I'll have enough string, sadly, but... we can go to the surface and hunt some spiders later. Nixcraft, thanks so much for 200 bits. Just stopping in before work. Have a good stream, pics, and chat. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. It's like this, right? And then the slab in the middle. I guess it might give me the crafting recipe if I craft stone slabs. There's not much else you can do with those. Nope, apparently it's not going to give me that either, so... how do you make these again? There it is. I had it the wrong way around for a bit there. And a fletching table will need flint, so we'll need to go and find that from somewhere. You're a Minecraft Pocket Edition player, your world lags horribly. I don't really know anything about Pocket Edition, so I can't really help you, I'm afraid. It could be a device thing, it could be what you've built in the world. It could just be Bedrock Edition having some issues, which I know it does. I think Aqua Affinity is going to be better than Thorns, right? I don't really like having thorns on stuff. We'll throw the snow blocks and the carpet in here. We've at least got a bed. When you mine gravel and you get flint, do you get the gravel and the flint? No, no, the gravel is destroyed, you just get flint. Gravel is basically flint ore. Did anyone tell me I'm Music Man Stream of the Week? Music Man told me on Twitter, and I'm British and very bad at taking compliments, so I just deflected. I'm like an X-Men that way, my main ability is deflecting. New to the channel, was gifted a sub last week. Awesome to see this emote. Yeah, that's one my partner designed, actually. They were just doodling on the iPad. I was like, do you want me to design you an emote? I was like, for free? Sure. What software do I use for recording or streaming? Streaming, I use Streamlabs OBS. For recording, I use Morellis Action. Info about my setup is all in the down there if you're watching on a browser, so check out the info below the stream if you want to know more. Is it dark yet? No, not yet. Set my respawn point here, though. Let's cook the rabbit as well. We'll put the rabbit's foot in there. We could brew that with potions if we had any blaze powder, but we don't. And why is this waterlogged? This is so weird. Fry, I couldn't see that message. It was just a blur to me. Oh, we do have another bed up here as well. I might as well take this one, because we will need it. Oh, nice. The villager cured while we were on the surface. Great stuff. Let's find some gravel. Question mark. I'm going to let it go to night just a little bit so we get some spider spawns in the area. That way we can finish our bundle and get a bindle. Yeah, not seeing a whole lot of surface iron at all. That's wild. Normally you look down into a ravine and it's just iron and coal. Now it's coal and copper, basically. Really not seeing any iron anywhere. That's tragic. Can't believe we've actually got to work for our resources now. Imagine. Oh, hey, some sugarcane. Might as well pick that up. Oh, there's a zombie. Alright, that means it's dark enough for mob spawns, so let's get some sleep. Always sleep facing zombies. I thought I was travelling towards him a little bit too fast there, but we're good. So, hopefully, some spiders should have spawned in the forest in the meantime. And they won't have burned in the sunlight because spiders don't. There's one. Let's see if we can get to him before he despawns. Spider! Nice. We got 2 string out of that as well. So that's our bundle sorted. Man, what a find. The clutch igloo, though. What are my opinions on enchanted golden carrots? I mean, they don't exist. Do I need to have an opinion on them beyond that? Should there be an enchanted golden carrot? I don't know. Food's confusing enough in this game as it is. Right, bundle, first of all. Right, so let's get this stuff out of the way. Put that in there. I don't have any flint yet. Finally, because I picked up and put down the gold nuggets, it lets me know that gold ingots exist. Yeah. Now we can at least go looking for flint in the daytime. I want one of these guys to be a one of these. Nice, okay. He's got the profession. If we make a trapdoor over top of this, he'll think he can pathfind away from it. Which means he should refresh his trades. And he wants 9 coal. Okay, well we can get plenty of coal. We can start trading that as well, and we'll do the stick trade with the other guy. Made the cured villager the Fletcher, that way you don't have to trade so many sticks. But then if we cure the if we trade a lot with the other guy, then eventually he'll give me axes, like diamond axes for 1 emerald, which is going to be preferable to buying them. Right. We'll get a little bit of coal. We'll look for some gravel for flint. Is there any gravel in this ravine? I didn't really look for gravel while I was peering down here. There's a bit in the wall there next to the coal, so I say we do it. So fun fact about gravel, if you break it with a torch, you don't ever get flint, or at least I don't believe you do. So despite the fact that it would be a faster way of breaking all this gravel, it's actually not going to be worth it for us to break the gravel using the torch method. Tragic though it is. Any changes in the end in 117? Not as far as we know. Shulkers can now reproduce by hitting other shulkers with their own bullets. So that's a change to shulker behavior, but not necessarily to the end itself. I actually really like the new coal ore texture. I like it too. I think it's pretty good. It is kind of cool having them have different ore textures. It was one of the things that I always found kind of divisive for me about using resource packs. And I don't tend to use them in general, but for a second, just the way the cave lined up there and how dark it was, I thought there was an Enderman standing outside. It gave me the creeps. Yeah, like, in resource packs, the ore textures were always kind of like a make or break thing for me. Like, sometimes they just look too cartoony for whatever reason, but I don't know, I can get behind the textures they've used for these ones. I like them a lot. Oh, and there's our bone meal. Did I get any flint out of those? I did not. Ironic. Speaking of ironic, I could do with some iron pretty soon. Alright, we only need 2 flint for the fletching table at least. The coal vein's bigger in the update. I think they have changed some of the ore distribution, so coal does occur in larger veins, but coal occurs in pretty large veins in default worlds now, so I don't know if that's definitely a thing. It's certainly a thing at higher elevations. Okay, we have 3 flint, that's enough. That should do just fine. We also just ran out of pickaxe duro, so let's get another pickaxe. Again, just working with stone tools for now, but it'll be fine, because we'll just buy them from the weaponsmith. At least the axes we will. Alright, you. Give me your bones. Nice. Well, 1 bone, but that'll do. That'll be enough. Hey, Prod, thank you so much for 2 months. And another JT, thank you for the 25. El Caneo Cosmico with the 13 earlier as well. Thank you all so much for the resubs. Appreciate you all. Alright, let's use the gravel to pillar up here. Is there a bug happening for all ores or just iron ore? Iron ore isn't necessarily a bug, it's just a way that they are trying to make mining a little bit more tactical now, is by hiding some of the ores behind other blocks, so you actually have to go mining looking for them, instead of them all just being freely available to you on the surface. Risk reward is kind of what they're going for. Was that iron or copper? I think that was copper, but I can go and look again. Man, I wish I had fortune for this coal trade, but kind of fine with it for the moment. Let's make a couple of torches at least, so we can get all of this back. Hello? 3rd time's the charm. Ever tried playing with view bobbing off? I don't really like gliding around. Yeah, that right there is copper. Is there any iron around here? A little bit more coal further up. And yeah, it doesn't look like there's any more resources around here. I mean, everything is a resource, but... When do I think they'll add the warden? I'm hoping it'll turn up this week, but it seems like they're working more on terrain gen stuff first, so maybe skulk blocks? And then the warden later? I mean, King B-Dogs has been tweeting about working on the warden for a little while, so I'm hoping that some progress is being made there. I know the warden is a feature a lot of people, including myself, are looking forward to, though. All of the PvE players want a combat challenge, all of the folks like me just want to build the warden a house and call him Squishy. Seems like caving should be more effective than strip mining. I think... Yeah, you'll find more iron in the caves further down in the world, so... Again, once you start looking for it, you're going to find it more frequently, but it's not going to appear as much in, like, surface level ravines and stuff like that. You have to be down below, like... Well, to be honest, we're probably at the range where iron should be more common anyway. But, yeah, again, I don't really know how any of the ore distribution is set up off the top of my head. Will there be goats in 117? Yeah. We got a great comment on the Spawn Chunks podcast when it went up on YouTube yesterday. Somebody was asking, apparently there was a rumor, or maybe just like a misunderstanding, that Bedrock was only going to get mountains and Java was only going to get cliffs, or Java was only going to get caves, and not even like in the snapshots. We're talking about like in the full update. Like 1.17 was only going to bring new mountains to Bedrock Edition. And they were like, what do you think about this rumor? And I'm like, is that a rumor? Because that's just people being ridiculously misinformed. Hey, Tallulah, happy Tuesday to you. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream and for the 8 months. But yeah, it's like the mountains showed up in the Bedrock Edition beta because the Bedrock team has been working on mountain generation. It's not like you're only going to get one or the other depending on which version of Minecraft you play. Like, that's not how it works. Yeah, Minecraft isn't Pokemon. You don't pay for like half the game and trade the other half with your friends. Like, it doesn't work that way. Although if you play Pixelmon, I guess Minecraft is Pokemon sometimes, but Pixelmon, am I right? A little bit more flint there as well. Because there are two sides to this, right? There's going to be trading with the weaponsmith himself to unlock the trades, and then there's going to be trading with the other guy to get emeralds. So I think we should have enough that we can at least make our way out of this ravine. I'll sleep for the night, and then we should be able to move on up from there. Hey, guess what? The diorite was useful after all. Let's go down to the igloo. Am I going to fight the Ender Dragon? Not on this stream, no. The objective on this stream is to do a little bit of mining with moss. What a deal! And now we can buy an axe back off of him, although the coal trade gets more XP, so we'll start with that. See what he's got for us next. Iron ingots for 1 emerald. There we go. That's not a bad start. Alright, we'll make him a trading like workstation as well. Let's go with fletching table. Have that. Enjoy your fancy hat, bud. Put torches in there with them as well. Don't really want them to get killed. I guess we need to cycle his trades a couple of times. Now we got the stick trade. Okay, cool. We'll put the trapdoor here as well. Using a crafting table to make sticks is weird, I know. Okay. And I guess we could get more flint from him if we trade him the gravel and 1 emerald. So I guess we'll do that for arrows, maybe. And just for a bit of extra XP, we'll buy a bow from him. And we'll make some more sticks. Alright, now we have 18 emeralds to trade to this guy. All of that stuff is going to get us so little XP now, so I think it's really going to be about finding and trading some iron. We got 6 copper that we can smelt. How do you trade that fast? Hit space once you've done 1 trade, and it basically refreshes the trade in the GUI. Like, you hear that clicking? That's me hitting space a few times. Rattlesnake, thank you so much for the 9 months of Prime. Really appreciate the resub. Thank you very much. Trapdoor is baby zombie protection. Also allows them to think they can pathfind over the workstation block, which means that they'll actually use the workstation and reset their trades, even if they have a 1x1 space. If they've got a block missing from above their heads, then that makes it easier too. Cool. We got bone meal. We'll throw that in the bundle for later. Try and rearrange some of this now. And oh, I got the feathers in here, haven't I? All right, let's go. Let's go looking for chickens. Just gonna sleep for a second. Using the igloo for trading is quite smart. I mean, I was looking for a village to start with, but then I saw the igloo and was really hoping it had a research station. It was a real stroke of luck when it did. There's like a three-headed fox up there on the hill. That looks wild. Alright, let's look for any skeletons that are burned in the sun, because we'll need a little bit more bone meal if we can get it. Looking for skeleton drops. Don't think there's that many around here to begin with. Could do with a little extra string, maybe. Get a second bundle on the go. Hey look, rabbits that don't exist. There's some bones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So many of them. It's an embarrassment of rabbits. There's 2 of them over there by that pillager as well, but I don't want to go and fight them right now. Got some free ink. Right, so far we have 3 bones, which is not the most bones I've ever had. How many are you born with? There's another ruined portal over here. At least I think that isn't the one that we found already. No, it's in a different place. Always like it when these end up spawning in snowy biomes. I'm like, where's the lava? This is one of the collapsed ones where half the portal frame is just in the ground. Regular golden apple, some obsidian, flint and steel. Don't really want the horse armor. Pretty good though. More snowy dirt. Yeah, I think we need to go caving. I need to take the coordinates of the igloo so I don't get too far lost. I need to grab another dandelion so we can kill the rest of these rabbits. Or I guess we could start a rabbit farm. That looks like a potential caving opportunity right here. Oh yes, this is a good starting location, I suppose. Just need to look for more iron at this point. Can you smelt iron bars down into ingots? Or not into ingots, into nuggets, rather. Been trying hardcore Minecraft in one world, you got an enchanted golden apple in a desert temple. That is where you find them, yeah. Congrats. I still need to find an enchanted golden apple for the museum. I think that's going to be a video sometime. How to find enchanted golden apples at youtube.com. Negative 923. Wow, we spawned quite a distance. The spawn in this world, like 0-0 in this world, must just be a massive ocean, because we seem to have spawned in a snow plains, which is not typically where you end up, and like miles away from regular spawn. Let's put those in there for now. We've got some arrows finally. We have some feathers in there. Again, I needed to get a chicken, which there might be some in the forest here. We've already been in that ravine. How did I take that screenshot? F2. F2 takes a screenshot, as anybody on the Minecraft Reddit will tell you if you upload a video or upload a photo of your desktop that you took on your camera phone. Alright, so we have dandelions back. Shouldn't have thrown that one away last time. Seriously, have the wolves killed all the chickens? Where are the chickens? Why are there no chickens in my Mega Tiger? I love these aquifers though. Such interesting lakes now. How does world spawning work? If you want an answer to that, I recommend looking at the latest dev diary video that they posted on the Minecraft YouTube channel. One of the developers who's working on caves gives a really good, concise description of how they generate worlds based on noise maps. And I don't really know much about that, so I'm a bad person to explain it. But it's really worth a watch. That whole video in general is a very good video for like behind the scenes development stuff. Alright, well we've already confirmed stone axe better than gold sword, but that's fine because gold sword is about to break anyway. Farewell sharpness. There's a fox just going for a swim. And yes, there are wolves around. Which is probably why I can't find any chickens. I need to save the bones for bone meal, tragically, so we won't be adopting a dog. Is this modded? Nope. Ain't nothing modded about it. Where is chicken, please? I mean, there's chicken in my belly now. How do you get mods? That is a complicated question. A lot of people go to websites like CurseForge and look for mod packs from there. There was a Twitch launcher, which I'm fairly certain has been discontinued now, but that used to be how a lot of people launched mod packs. Oh, wow. That is quite the underwater landscape. That is seriously cool looking. Are there any magma blocks down here? Doesn't look like it. I'm not seeing bubble columns. Sadly, because there's some iron down there that I can see. And I'm under the ice now. Help. There it is. Okay. Still no sign of chickens, so I guess we will kill some more rabbits and then go caving. I'm not gonna make a door. I'm not gonna bother swimming in that aquifer just because it could be a place I could get iron. There's caves that we can go to. There will be many other opportunities to get iron. It was just an interesting marvel of the world. Come back here. There we go. We broke our sword over that rabbit's back. And now I have to find more rabbits to kill with an axe instead. Nice. 3 rabbit's feet so far. What's moss mining? You'll find out if I ever get to do it. If not, you'll find out on tomorrow's YouTube video. 5 rabbit hides so far. Alright, let's get a little bit closer to the pillager outpost. I don't see a pillager over here, so we can at least try and kill these 2 rabbits. Alright, we got the rabbit hide. That works. Yeah. Alright. Give me 2 seconds to mess with this. What can we throw in here for the minutes? We'll put the copper ingots and stuff in here. Alright. Another bundle, and let's put, I guess, food in here once I've cooked up some more of it. Is it not night yet? Oh, it's getting there. Find killing rabbits easier with a sword because of sweep attack? Yeah, I think they're probably a little bit easier to kill. I just don't have good materials for a sword yet. Oh, that's how that works. Carpets. There we go. I forgot about that. That's why there's a redstone torch there. Speaking of which, let's bundle that. Oh, and I should probably... What I was looking for feathers for was so I could get the feathers out of this bundle easier, but in the meantime, we might as well just bundle them like that and then make some more sticks so I can make some arrows. Haven't crafted arrows for ages. And we'll get some more torches. Cook the rest of this chicken. Stash the rabbit's feet in there as well. We've got bones in there for later. Hey, what's up, Seth? Welcome in. And we'll cook some beef as well. We'll throw the dandelion away again. We can bundle up all of this, because the beef is going to be our primary food, but having a golden apple on top of there is going to be worth keeping around. I just picked up and put down that bow again, so now it's telling me about dispensers. Good work, game. Let's head downstairs and drop off some of the useless building blocks for now. Why don't people like using the recipe book? I don't know. People are old school and weird about this stuff sometimes. Some people are like, oh, in my day we had to remember crafting recipes, which was rubbish, but everyone likes to think it was good. Leave the emeralds here in case we lose them. Don't really need those shovels. We'll make some more torches. We'll make some more pickaxes. We don't really need another axe. We need another shovel. A sword isn't going to be much help, but hey, we'll see. Pickaxe. Remembering recipes equals superiority complex. That's basically it, yes. Let's put those in there for now as well. Yeah, we don't really need to keep too much of this other stuff, but it'll do. As long as we've got spruce logs, we've got coal. I mean, we'll probably put the flint and steel in here as well. I don't plan to go to the nether. I'll bring a crafting table with me, because why not? Okay. This is looking positive so far. Alright. Let's go back to that big cave and let's go caving. Yeah, we'll leave the bed there for the minute. Does the rabbit's foot look different now? Different to when? Because the sprite changed when they updated a bunch of the textures, but I mean, it's been like that since, I think, 1.14, when they changed the block textures. A few of the sprites have been updated more recently, though, so that might be one of them. I don't know for certain. Why'd I put water in the ladder? I didn't. It generated that way. Probably because there's a river right next to that igloo. And it didn't remove the water blocks since ladders can be waterlogged now. Didn't emerald blocks change texture in 1.16? They might have. I forget which updates some of these happened in. I'm going to take the coal because once again it is a trade without armor if we need it. Can you have spaces in your Java username? I don't recall. Was never interested in it anyway, so. Shiny Stuffs, thank you so much for the 3 months. Alright, more copper this way. Looking for surface iron. Hey, spawner. What do we got in here? Zombies. Boo. A little bit of useful stuff. We got some bones, which is fine. I would prefer a skeleton spawner, but hey, another golden apple. Nice. And some string and a bucket, I guess. Bucket's going to be useful right now. That's one less thing I have to make, but iron. Alright. Moving on from that. Yeah, personally, I think there is too little visible iron in caves now, but you could maybe argue that we've had it too easy for a while. I don't know how people would feel about that as an assessment. Hey, Shiny Stuffs, thank you so much for 5 gifted subs. So generous of you. Thank you so much. Folks in the chat who just got gifted a sub. If it's your first sub, please enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. Folks who just got their sub re-upped by Shiny Stuffs, welcome back. There we go. Holy gift subs Batman does seem like something Robin would say if Batman started a Twitch stream. Can you imagine that stream, though? Imagine Batman just streaming the Batman video games and being bad at them because he is kind of an old man. That's terrible. I'm 34, nearly, so I can't really, like... I can't really dunk on Batman. It's probably the only chance I would get anyway. Those are probably useless for the moment. Was the glowing green-grey block? That is glow lichen. It's a light source that generates naturally in caves. Doesn't block mob spawns because the light level is too low, but it just allows for caves to be gently lit by stuff so that you're not descending into complete darkness every time you go caving. So this cave was kind of a dud, it turns out. There's not really a whole lot here, especially in terms of surface level iron. There's like a divot here, but that's sort of like a mini ravine. It doesn't really have much going on. And there's nothing over here except more copper, which, yeah, I really feel like copper and iron should trade places in terms of their surface visibility. I know iron is required for progression, so it kind of makes sense to hide it a little bit, but it's too hidden now. Like, I want to be able to find, like, a little bit of iron before I go caving. At least so I can make a shield. All of the iron I've found so far has been in loot chests. Michael Keaton Batman would be the most hilarious since he can't turn his head in the costume and be like this. If they remove exposed doors, there'll be a lot less reason to explore the new caves, ironically. I kind of agree, yeah. Like, you just get people strip mining with stone tools, which is not fun. I mean, I'm not asking for iron on a plate, but I do want to see at least a little bit of it in caves. Like, we've been in a ravine and a reasonable sized surface cave and just no iron yet. That is sort of wild to me. Welcome, raiders. I'm Batman. A little bit more coal in here. We'll grab it. We may as well grab it. Not an Uber. Wait until the update is a little bit further along before you worry about updating your server, because there will be a path to upgrading old worlds. It's going to happen. They just don't have any information on how it's going to happen yet, so I can't really explain the process because we don't know what it's going to look like, but rest assured that in previous updates they have taken pains to make sure you can update old worlds to newer updates. So I see no reason why they wouldn't do that in this one. You're not going to find as many of the new cave formations generating in places you've already been, but I expect they will at least have some sort of way of the new caverns underneath Y0 generating in old worlds. So just don't worry about it for now and you'll find out about it eventually. That's what, 3 caves we've been in so far? And still no sign of surface iron. Thought I was doing a Chopping Tuesday today? I am, we're just not at the chopping part yet. Chopping Tuesday is often a multi-stage process. I'd like to see more exposed iron above Y64 so you could get some easy iron first up that make less air mine balanced. Yeah, I think you actually get a higher concentration of iron in the new mountains above a certain elevation, but those aren't in the game yet for Java, so I don't know. I want to stay in this area because I want to be able to return to the igloo and trade more with my dudes. Seriously, that's what I'm looking for iron for right now, is trading with people. It's not even for my own armor and stuff. I literally just want to trade with that guy until he can sell me diamond axes. Hello? I hear zombie. Oh. Hello there. Nice. Copper, of course. Yeah, the iron ingot dropped from a zombie? I doubt it, but... Hello? Is that a... Alright, now I am going to make a door because I'm just curious. There's a block down there that's mossy cobblestone, but I don't know if it's just a Mega Tiger boulder that's generated that far down, or if this is the corner of a dungeon. No, it looks like that was just a boulder. Oh well. Take a quick look down here. Still not seeing any iron, really. How long have I been looking for iron? About, I don't know, 20 minutes? Maybe? And we haven't been caving super far down, but we've been into a few surface level caves and a couple of ravines. And we have yet to see any iron that wasn't just in a loot chest. What is iron gen in these snapshots? They're trying to balance ore generation, that's all it is. None of this is final either, it's all just experimentation. So you can't really blame them for this. Let's go back to that one place I did see iron ore, which was back over this way in an aquifer. Was it in this little cave over here? It was, I think, because we were underneath the ice when we came up. The water-filled caves are so peaceful and mob-free, it's true. I mean, look at this. Music is good for this as well. There's lapis over there. We just place both these doors. It was around here somewhere. I forget, like, exactly which part of the cave it was in. But I did see some iron somewhere. I mean, there's copper right there. I'm probably, like, looking past it and missing it. Hang on. Need to get up and get some air. Or was it in this part, or was it a separate part? What's the use of copper other than lightning rods? Building blocks. It's got a spyglass recipe as well. See, I'm seeing some lapis here and there, but I'm not seeing any iron. I think it might have been a different cave. So glad drowned don't spawn in aquifers yet. I know, right? That'll be the one thing that ruins them. Quote-unquote ruins. Because, of course, anything that causes a challenge is just, like, the worst. It wasn't under a mountain? Okay, I'm looking in the wrong place then. Gotta find a big old lake somewhere. Ow. Am I giving up Optifine Zoom? I don't know. I don't know when Optifine's going to come out, so I'll have to for a little while. I don't think it was this far out. I think we went in a different direction. Drowned are just a nuisance in general. They are. This is true. Look, I killed all the rabbits around here, and there's still loads of rabbits. I don't know what Shep is on about. Hey, Roadbuster, I'm doing great. How are you doing? Hey, Vela, good to see you. Welcome in. Once you have water-breathing potions, it's going to be so easy to mine. Or a conduit. Just set up a conduit in one of those caves. They're easier to get than you think. They added anything to normal world generation or new biomes. I mean, the caves are part of normal world generation. That's kind of the idea. There are going to be sub-biomes in mountains now. There's a whole bunch of stuff, really. Just got to know where to look. Look, there's 2 rabbits just in this little ravine. Oh. We've woken the hive. Oh, they're all after me now. Do you reckon holding door is as good as holding a shield in this circumstance? Probably not, right? Yeah, a little bit too close to the outpost, I think. Yeah, I love their death noises. Blair! Are those the new cracks they added? I think the cracks are supposed to be more like... they go down really deep. I think that's the way it's supposed to work. Yeah, it's not this river either. I definitely found some iron earlier, and I can't remember which cavern thing it was in. It wasn't in that one over there. Was it in the Mega Tiger somewhere? It wasn't this, because we've been here. Oh, by the way, somebody pointed out that if you remove all of these and then add Blustery Day, it might actually work a little better. Yeah, there we go. For whatever reason, the other resource packs make it, like, function differently. Like, it's not as compatible. Wavy water. You like Felix's texture pack icons, right? He's got an aesthetic he's going for. The spruce leaves waving in the wind. They're just doing like a little bit of light squash and stretch, which works really well. Alright, more arrows for me. More bones as well. Please tell me this cave has iron, for goodness sake. I'm finding a lot of these, like, low-hanging caves as well. I feel like caves have gone from being completely uniform to just being, like, more wide and less headroom. Is it possible to disable the new shaders? I mean, they're all based on resource packs, like... It's like, is it possible to disable a texture pack? I mean, yes, apart from the default, but there are no default, like, additional effects added by shaders. It's just, they are programmable now. If you disabled shaders entirely, you wouldn't be able to see the game. But the waving leaves and stuff, that's all just a resource pack that I've added. Arendam Sar, thank you so much for the 18 months. Did you miss the moss mining already? No, we haven't got there yet. I'm trying to gear up a little in this world before I do any of that, because I want to be able to use lots of diamond axes. And that is currently requiring me to look for iron, which is apparently completely absent from this world for reasons I do not know. Let's throw out some of this stuff as well. We don't really need it. All of the zombies and skeletons burning in the sun again. Haven't really run into any creepers yet, so those over there I will steer well clear of. Use the zombie spawner to farm their drops to smelt into iron. It's just such a slow process. And we're playing on normal right now, so the drops aren't even going to be any good. Here's a pumpkin up there. At this stage, it might even be faster just to mine a ton of coal. Trade that with the guy. Or I just go strip mining, but I don't really want to go strip mining with stone tools. Yeah, if only there was nether iron ore. Go looking for that. Alright, let's take another chance with some caves. These caves are not good, so that's a no from me. That's just another little watering hole. What is this? That's another little watering hole. Abysmal. Gonna be bored with 117 before it even drops. I mean, do you know me? I'm gonna be more excited about this update than ever when it finally arrives. For a start, I'll be able to do stuff permanently instead of just doing temporary worlds every week. Aside from that, I need to know enough about this update that by the time it actually comes out, I can make a tutorial series about it, so... yeah, exploring this update kind of fully before it comes out is going to be necessary for me as a business decision. Wish I could create some sort of light source right here, but don't really have the means to do that right now. Some air bubbles over here. I think I see some iron. Yeah, finally. They'll just float upwards. There were 3 blocks of it. I only collected 2. Where'd my iron go? Alright, we got the 3rd one. Back towards this door. Most difficult starting biome? Desert, probably? Snow Plains is pretty bad too, but they both got rabbits. Okay, interesting. To try and make our way back here. Have a quick look around to see if there's any more, but I think through this way? I'm going to turn the gamma up for you guys so you can actually see any of this. Sorry, it's so dark. There we go. Should be a little bit brighter. Again, I love this music for just floating around and exploring these underwater caves. Yikes, there it is. So much surface coal and copper. Barely a hint of iron. A little bit more over here. We want to add strategy to mining, they said. Cut to me swimming around, placing a door so I can mine iron underwater. There we go, finally. We hit more than like 2 at a time. Did you see diamonds? No, you probably saw glow lichen. Really doubt there'd be diamonds this elevation. They still only start to generate at like Y16 and below. Oh, this is a challenge. A little bit floating up to the surface there. How much do we have now? 20. Alright. That should be enough for the moment. But there's a little bit more around here, and this is the most iron I've seen the entire stream, so we might as well go looking for it. Do I like the new wall textures? I do, yeah. Iron is much better, I believe, now. Like, I honestly think they've done really good stuff with the new iron texture. Excuse me. You ever, like, choke on your own spit? It's all the bile. The Minecraft player bile coming to the surface. Speaking of coming to the surface, we should get out of here. This might even be one of the places that I was looking down and I found iron. You never know. How are you meant to swim in those caves? I mean, by swimming. Let's double back and do one last check of that. Just in case there's anything else we missed. There's plenty of copper around still. I mean, how are you meant to breathe in these caves? I mean, find ways. We're doing it right now with doors. You get conduits, you get water-breathing potions, you craft a turtle helmet. There are any number of ways the game gives you to breathe underwater. Same way people are supposed to explore ocean monuments and stuff. You just find something that's going to help you. Yeah, right now I'm using doors to create air pockets, which is a fairly well-known strategy at this stage. But yeah, I do think we're encountering a little bit more iron down here because, technically, because it's generating underwater, it's not counting it as, like, exposed. But I really think there is too little iron in other caves now. Yeah, you can also swim into those magma columns, which will top up your air. Just make sure you're crouched so you don't take damage from the magma blocks. It's one way of doing it. Like this. I'm holding down shift right now if it's not obvious. There's one more piece of iron here. But it looks like this is the only block. Yeah. 29 though, that's not bad. We can trade a decent chunk of that with the villager. Maybe make a couple of iron tools. Oh, okay, a bit more here. Oh, hello. Oh, we've found ourselves in an aquifer. Like a proper one. And there's a bit more iron actually exposed to the air. Alright, well. Clearly we need to be underground for the iron. Like, properly underground. Did that fall in? I can't tell. I think we got it. Good thing I brought a backup pickaxe. I never go mining unprepared these days. Okay, so that column there is our way out. Take a quick look around here. Yes, alright. Alright, alright. I see you. Bit of an abandoned mine shaft as well. Man, like, even though it's useless to me right now, because I'm not planning on taking it to build with or whatever, I love the way copper ore looks. It's such a nice looking block. Yeah, you need to get out into these noise caves to find iron. We're at Y16 right now. Diamond level is, I mean, it's the new iron level. No, there's no archaeology in the snapshots yet. In fact, Olraf has been relatively quiet for a little while on that score, so I'm hoping there's just a lot of hard work being done on them. I mean, it's always hard work, let's be real, but... yeah, I wonder if we'll start to see any of that popping up soon. It was from the impression that we got at Minecraft Live, one of the features that still needed a lot of, like, tweaking. But we'll see what becomes of that later. Hey, there's some gold up there. Okay, well I think I have enough iron now that I can trade with the villager a whole bunch and also get myself some decent gear, so that's a good start. Thought I saw some up here. Nope, my imagination. That's what I saw. Oh no, I'm getting pulled down. Pulled down by the magma cubes. Why settle for 50 or so when you can have a full stack? That's what I'm thinking. $63, so close. There's a whole mess of cave over here as well. Some people are probably like, a mesa cave? No, a mess of cave. Alright. Bit of redstone. Haven't got the tools to mine that yet, unfortunately. Could smelt some up right now. Alright, you're a bit pushy, aren't you? Calm down. Boy. Getting a little bit low on axe durability. Let's smelt some iron. Gather a little bit more from over here. How's everyone doing in the chat? Vibing to this relaxing music? Heck yes. It's very good caving music. Especially for these, like, slightly more chill caves when there's, like, mainly water around, so we don't have just tons of mobs to deal with. Just want to boat in these caves? I know. I think it's going to be so cool when you find those cascading layers of water that you can ride a boat from one into the other. I expect some people will want to structure their bases this way as well. Have like a series of underground waterways that you can just kind of row from area to area. Kind of like having your base set up to be a ton of, what do you call it, like minecart rails and stuff taking you from area to area. You could very easily do stuff like that, but with, there we go. You could do that with waterways now. Obviously, it's not going to be as automatic, but maybe you put some flowing water in. Starting your first vacation off in 2021 with some Minecraft? Nice. Always a good way to spend some time off, in my opinion, but I may be biased. A cave village base. Yeah, no, totally. I'm looking forward to people doing all sorts of bases in caves now. Night vision potions will be very useful in the new update. It's funny, I don't really rate night vision potions in these caves because, for a start, it doesn't prevent mob spawns. It just brightens the environment so you can see everything, which, yeah, is going to be useful for when you're mining for resources, but I also find that it just strips out all of the atmosphere from caves, and part of the experience for me is like the light and shadow and everything interacting just feels so much more atmospheric than looking at it all with completely even lighting all around. I just don't like the look of them. Alright. Aside from the gold helmet, we are all suited up here, and the gold helmet has aqua affinity, which is pretty useful for me right now. So there's a little bit more iron up there. I think there's some in that opposite wall as well. There's a couple of creepers over there, but I might go for it anyway, because what are they going to do? Kill me? Hey there, bud. Alright, the other one has disappeared, which is a concern. Wandered off up that way, maybe. So there was a little bit of iron up there. There's some over here. It does me a concern. Creeper must have had tough skin. Why? I mean, it took 2 arrows and an axe to kill it, but I also don't have enchantments right now. Or apparently at all, if people were saying about enchantments being broken, kind of, in this snapshot. Yeah, we're getting out into more dangerous territory here because mobs can just spawn everywhere. Gotta say, for these snapshot worlds, stone axe is kind of the ideal weapon, as long as you're not completely surrounded. Which, you know, I might be in a moment, so maybe don't hold me to that, yeah? These are some good caves, though. Getting pulled pork sandwiches tonight? Nice. Sounds tasty.
Well,
oh hey, lava lake.
Just prime.
Thought those didn't exist anymore, but apparently they do. Looked like it was about Y8 or so. The Hydrolyzer, thank you so much for that Prime sub. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. Thank you so much for using your Prime sub here. You've only got one of them. Means a lot that you chose to spend it with me. Yeah, not seeing a huge amount down there. A bit more iron in the water, I think, but... Need to head back to those furnaces so I can pick up what I was smelting. And head back to my villager friend for some easy tools. And then we'll actually try what I've been planning on doing this entire stream. We're only, you know, an hour and a half in. Kind of like that you didn't go just from wood to iron within the first 10 minutes of spawning. I mean, it's maybe slows the progression down a little bit. But I do still think you should be able to gear up and get some iron armor before you go caving. Just for people who aren't used to surviving on, like, barely anything. I think ultimately the problem with Minecraft in general is that there's less, like, drawn-out challenge towards endgame. More so than it being a problem with early game, you know? It feels like once you get powerful enough, that's just it forever. Marcus, thank you so much for 5 months. Let's smelt a little bit more iron here, and then we'll take it all back to that villager and start buying diamond swords and things. Are they changing lava generation? It's not going to be at Y11 anymore, because the way the world generates lava in current Minecraft worlds is basically anything that would generate as a cave below Y11, it just fills it with lava. Which obviously wouldn't work now, because there are tons of caves below Y11. So they are changing the levels that lava lakes will appear at, and they won't be as common once you dig down in the world until you get closer to, like, Y-64, where the bedrock floor now is. So you'll find more lava lakes basically at the very bottom of the world still, but the very bottom of the world has moved down by 64 blocks. Lini Bellini, thanks so much for that Prime sub. Very kind of you. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. Have I ever made a video about the world border? Not really, because I don't find it that interesting. Like, it's just a glowy wall 30 million blocks away. There's not really much to be said about it. And it's such a pain to get there unless you're teleporting. Like, maybe some people see it as a challenge, but I don't really feel like it's a challenge with a great deal of reward. Other than just saying you've done it, I guess, which, let's be fair, I do stuff for bragging rights sometimes, but other times I just feel like there should be something to be said for the end of it. It was much more interesting when there was something like the Farlands, which was just a mathematical anomaly. Whereas now it's like nothing really like that. Okay, now I need to find my way home, and I don't know where that was. Luckily I took the coordinates. Ooh. Yeah, I've seen a few of those since the snapshots have started coming out. Those weird dark patches of the world. It's very odd. So I think I need to be going this way, because we're at like negative 900 or something. I'll go this way until I see a pillager outpost. Let me just quickly check that those are the right coordinates. Yeah, negative 923, 400. So we go this way. We should bump into it sooner or later. Oh, hey, look, loads of rabbits. There's the outpost. So we keep going to the right of that. We should find our igloo. They should make a new world type that is like the Farlands. I mean, that's basically amplified terrain, really. It all sort of looks like that. I feel like the only reason it was cool in the first place was that it was so unlike the rest of the world. Young SPD, thank you so much for the 417. Had a whole never-ending strip of dark chunks along a Z-axis in one of the snapshots. Yeah, there's been like a few weird ways the terrain generates in these snapshots that leaves those dark patches, which is kind of fun, to be honest. It's a neat looking anomaly. Alright, before I trade away all my iron to this guy, I will make a couple of like iron pickaxes and stuff, because he's a weaponsmith, not a toolsmith, so it's going to be worth our time making a couple of tools just to be on with, you know? Let's make a couple of those. He's going to trade me a sword and an axe. We can maybe use an iron shovel. Alright, now you. Easy as pie, look at that. And now... Oh, he wants flint. Well, my lad, you've come to the right man. Let me see if I have any leftover gravel. Oh boy, do I. These two are a match made in heaven, let me tell you. No. No. Give me back my emeralds. Fool. Cool, that's a whole lot of XP for you. That should be enough. Yeah, there we go. Efficiency 3 diamond axe, 1 emerald. Could have had it for 27 though, and you guys thought I should make him the Fletcher. Alright. Just gonna buy me a few diamond axes. 3 will do, I think. And sooner or later he'll start selling me diamond swords as well. He also wants a diamond for an emerald. I'm like, get out of here with that. Right, where are we at with these? Yeah, we've got bones and stuff as well. We've got 10 of them, which we can craft into bone meal and have 33 of that. There we go. Yeah, that is really what we need. Are you the only one who thinks that diamonds generate too scarcely? Well, Dragoncraft, I have a concept for you in this stream. In this very stream. That we might be able to deal with that issue a little bit. What else can I get from you? Guess we could buy a bell. So that we can freak both of these guys out. There we go. I guess we'll do one more coal trade, and then he should also have sharpness 2 diamond sword for an emerald as well. Very nice. Now, if only I had enough iron for an anvil. Oh, wait, I think I do. Perfect. Alright, sharpness 3. We'll wait for him to restock his trades, and we'll have sharpness 4. Diamonds generate much more in 1.17, but also a little bit less, because it's kind of harder to find them now. It's weird. There's nuance to all of this. Do I need to get away from these guys before they'll refresh their trades? I probably do. Oh, and the sun's also going down, so they won't refresh until tomorrow. When you're ready. Wonder if copper ore could give the blast furnace more of a use. I mean, the problem with the blast furnace is it's always going to be made redundant by furnaces. That's the problem I have with the blast furnace and the smoker. Yes, they're faster, but I feel like speed in Minecraft is not always particularly important. Like, yes, if you're in a UHC or something, maybe. But I really don't find all of that stuff particularly necessary if you're not... you know, under particular amounts of pressure. You just gotta wait a little bit longer. I mean, oh well. Trying to think what we need to leave here. Yeah, once these two start their work day, I'm going to leave this shovel here as well. I'll bring the copper ore with me. Or the copper ingots. Alright, the bundle is full. I like that it X's out the available inventory spaces after that. I've been dreaming about fighting the Warden too. I just want to be able to do it. Let's put the stone axes away because we won't need those anymore as well. Alright, sharpness 2 and sharpness 2. Hey, cool, we have the sharpness 4 diamond sword for 4 emeralds. Easy pickings. Not going to bother combining any of the axes because efficiency is not even the point here. We'll put that away. Is this guy trading anything useful aside from bows, I guess? Probably not really. So... let's buy a few more axes. And let's get to work. Time to go caving. I'm going to leave the emeralds here. The iron... what else can we make with iron that I will need? Maybe more buckets, if that, but probably nothing much. Alright, let's go find a deep slate cave. What about the moss mining? That is the whole point. Unfortunately, moss does not spawn in this world because it does not have any lush caves. So I'm going to spawn myself in 1 block of moss. And then we're going to attempt moss mining. The question is, do we just start digging down into deep slate layers from where we were earlier? And my answer to that is yes. Although... is this going to come out into that big cave system we had earlier? Oh, it's a different one. Interesting. Every time I see these holes in the landscape now, I'm looking for one that goes all the way down to, like, Y60 or something. Or, like, -60, rather. These big old world cracks. Hey, look, more rabbits. Does moss spawn naturally? Not yet. Right now, in snapshots, you have to generate a world where the single biome in the world is lush caves. But in future it will generate naturally, yes. For this experiment I decided to create a default world because it was going to be easier to get tooled up, ironically enough. Let's dive down here. Hey, more iron. Just when I don't need it. I hear zombies over here. And witches. Seems like it'll be a good cave to explore. Or maybe it's downward from here, I can't tell. No, it sounds like it's upward. Or maybe not. Difficult to say, really. Either way, our aim is to head downwards, so might as well just start a staircase here. That's such a weird, like, the wobbling water block in front of me. Oh boy, there it is. Well, so much for the MLG water bucket then. Excuse me. Yeah, don't land on the edge of a block when you do that. There's a good example. There we go. So I shouldn't have too much trouble with mobs, honestly, because we're still on normal difficulty. See no point in making this challenge harder than it needs to be. Gonna try and look around for a few entrances to deeper caves, but otherwise we could just dig down again. Alright, cool. A lot of zombies turning into drowns. Always fun making creepers do the work for you. Hey, we've been here. I recognize those torches. Any chance of getting drowned in these caves? Not naturally spawned, but zombies can convert. Usually happens. Hey, what's up? We can two-shot. A little bit more iron, a little bit of redstone. Gravel and that. We're at Y10-ish while we're here. 12? 10 down there? I'm wondering if we need to go back to where we were in the aquifers over here and just explore over land. Oh, that's kind of where we came from. I was thinking it was the other way around. I thought we were coming at this from a different angle. Oh no, this is the spot I wanted. This is where I want us to be. You know, right next to the lava. So here am I, with a stone pickaxe and a diamond sword. Where are we at right now? 6? 5? Okay, cool. We can use this as a point to start digging down. And then hopefully if we dig downwards this way, we should find ourselves in a deep slate cave. And that is where the story really begins 2 hours into the stream. Hey, a deep slate cave. Now you're talking. Alright, this is perfect actually. This is a really ideal environment for what I want to do. Yes, a completely sealed, basically, deep slate cave is 100% what we want. Because in this environment, we aren't really going to get bothered by mobs. A little bit of deep slate iron there as well. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, good, good, good. So, as you can see right now, I always sound like a magician when I'm starting this stuff, right? As you can see right now, we don't have any exposed diamonds in here, right? From what we understand, a lot of diamond ore is now going to be hidden inside the walls, and strip mining or branch mining for it is going to be the thing to do to find the most diamond ore. However, we don't really have the tools to go strip mining, and deep slate is also going to be a bit of a pain to mine. You can't insta-mine it with a beacon because its time to break is higher than stone is. So what we're going to do is set up a little station over here that allows us to compost. And we're going to use moss to destroy all of the deep slate and uncover ore blocks. This is going to require a little bit of iron here, because I'll need to make a hopper or two. So I'll actually need that deep slate iron from up here. Deep slate iron wasn't meant to spawn in survival? No, 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 no. The ones that don't spawn in deep slate layers are emerald, copper, and coal don't spawn in deep slate layers. Hey, you can craft a furnace with cobbled deep slate and cobblestone. That's really cute. So let's smelt up a little bit more of this. And we'll make a couple more chests. We need one more chest for one more hopper. So this was a mining strat that Joel proposed on the episode of the Spawn Chunks that came out the other day. He said, what if... Oh, hey, gold. What if, because it's so difficult to find diamonds, you can just convert all of the deep slate around here into moss, break all of that instantly with an axe, and then turn the whole thing into compost to make renewable bone meal, and then continue converting it to moss so that then you can find the diamond ore blocks that way, because it's not going to destroy ore blocks. Because moss doesn't overwrite ores. So, I give myself one moss block, because you can't get moss in survival with standard world generation. It has to be lush cave worlds right now. That will change. In the meantime, we place this moss block, we bone meal a whole bunch of the surrounding landscape so that it all turns into moss. And then we take an axe and we break all of this instantly. And this allows us to mine out the walls of the cave a little bit. I think the ideal way of doing this... We've already found some lapis ore, that's pretty good. So the ideal way of doing this at first is going to be sort of randomly. I would love for it to work in a way that allowed you to get a ton of diamonds out of like one chunk, but the fact is that diamonds generate in the world spread out. They're not going to generate in like a nice even distribution in one chunk. So we're going to take some of these moss blocks, put those in there to compost. And then obviously, like moss, you can just reproduce it by bone mealing, so... Once we get to the lapis ore, though, you'll notice that it doesn't overwrite the ore blocks because they're precious, and it knows to ignore them. So we convert as much of this cave as we dare to into moss blocks. And then we destroy it all with the axe. You can also farm food down here with the seeds. Yes, you can. Although that's... part of the reason I wanted to do this in a world that wasn't a lush cave-only world is because you can get, you know, animals for food on the surface and so forth. So moss actually composts pretty well. Moss carpet doesn't compost all that great. It's like grass and seeds. It's like a 30% chance. The azalea has the best chance to compost out of everything. And the reason I wanted to trade diamond axes to begin with was just purely for the durability. I was hoping they would have unbreaking, but efficiency doesn't hurt. An axe will still insta-mine moss blocks with no enchantments on it. So if you found some diamonds already and turn them into an axe, you can now use this as a strat to get more diamonds if you're in these lower regions of the world. One thing to note is that moss will not convert anything that has another block on top of it. So that could be a torch, it could be, you know, some grass, it could be like another... I mean, grass is probably a bad example because it's part of the moss landscape, but if it's got like a chest on it, like this, for example, you're not going to find the moss converting that block. I think the blocks with the torches on are going to be exempt from this as well. And so yeah, this is why I wanted to trade like 7 axes before I came down here. It's because I've been doing this in a test world, that I've been doing the process in survival so that the durability is still consumed and everything, but I've been spawning the axes in using commands just to kind of test a couple of things. And you go through axe durability like nobody's business. But now we should have, yeah, we've got like 9 more bone meal in here. And once I compost all of the moss and stuff, we'll have more. And obviously the problem here is that it destroys blocks. Like, you're not going to get any blocks back from this process because you need to compost the moss to get more bone meal. Obviously, if you have like a skeleton spawner or something by now, then that's a different story, right? Or if you've got something else you can compost, then that's a different story. But if you're just using the moss for this process, you don't get any deep slate out of this. So if you're in this for building blocks, then that's a problem. I think the main issue with this is that with the organic shape of a cave like this, you can't really do it systematically, which is why I prefer digging downwards in a chunk like I was doing in the other world. But then, like I said, the problem becomes you're only covering a limited amount of area inside of this cave, and it's not really suited for that. Also, occasionally you end up bone mealing to get tall grass, which is the most frustrating thing because it's such a waste of bone meal when you're using like such a little amount of bone meal to begin with. Why bother with an axe over punching the moss? Okay, so here is the difference between just punching the moss and then using an axe on the moss. Like, axes will instantly mine it because the axe is the preferred tool for mining moss. It amounts to the difference between being able to mine it instantly and it taking like a fraction of a second to mine the block. So far we're getting a lot of deep slate lapis, which is kind of cool. Not what I was expecting, but I'll definitely take it. Does composting the moss result in a net gain of bone meal? You more or less break even, but I think you do ultimately end up with a little bit more. So, like, now I have 19, but then I have all of this stuff to compost again, and each time you're going to end up generating more and more moss as you widen out this area. I think ultimately the moss spread pattern is kind of random. Like, in a completely square area, there are some ways that it's easier to get it to spread, but you do kind of have to collect every single block and azalea shrub and everything before you compost it all. And you need to make sure you keep some moss on you if you haven't got any left in the environment. Otherwise, you need to go and find a lush cave and get more. Do I think that the axe is the best choice for the tool for moss? I don't really know. Like, I'm not sure what I would pick. Because I thought of the moss as like a dirt type block, but it really isn't. Just got a advancement for crafting an iron pickaxe by switching to one of the iron pickaxes that was in my inventory. But yeah, like, if it wasn't the axe, I don't know what it would be, you know? So the thing is, I don't think this is going to necessarily be any faster or better than just going caving. Because at this point, there are enough surface level diamonds in deep slate caves that if you just find a decent sized cave and explore, you'll find a whole heck of a lot of diamonds. But the fact remains that it is possible to do things this way, and I'm much more interested in the possible than what is most efficient. The other thing is, as you break the floor away... Hey, there's our first diamonds. So, this has now worked as a diamond mining methodology. Yeah, as you break away the floor, then the bone meal machine here is going to get further and further away. So we either need to leave a staircase up to this or craft ladders. Which is what I did in my my full chunk of doing this. You could also, if you really wanted to be pedantic about this, shear the grass to get grass entities instead of wheat seeds occasionally. But I'm kind of okay with not doing that. I also don't think I have enough iron to do that right now. Oh, I have 2, so I have enough to shear the grass. So we could maybe do that. I think grass and seeds have the same composting rate anyway. You just don't get as many seeds. Let's see what we got from this. That is our first diamonds. And it looks like we have 4. Not bad. It's a lot more efficient at mining down than sideways. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the flaw with this strategy, really, is that you can't use it to spread out. And obviously, the way you find diamonds typically is by exploring laterally, not vertically. So all in all, it's not going to beat out strip mining, absolutely. But like I said, the fact remains that it is possible to find diamonds this way. And it potentially beats straight up strip mining because of the inability to insta-mine deepslate. I think that's the only thing this method has going for it, really, is that you can't insta-mine deepslate. But it allows you to turn deepslate into an insta-mineable block at the cost of destroying the deepslate entirely. But it still exposes ore blocks, so that's potentially valuable to players. I think one thing that would benefit us here is to basically even out the mining area. So instead of, like, layering up the entire thing, I actually want to flatten out this area somewhat. See how long it's taken me to mine these individually with, I mean, a basic iron pickaxe, but that'd be enough for you mining stone. Like, you'd be okay with that. Deepslate just has twice as much time to break. And now if we look in the bone meal chest, we've got more bone meal than we started with. And even more stuff to compost. So the system works relatively well. As long as you are fairly tactical about the moss that you place. It's a pretty renewable method. It doesn't end up resulting in any kind of, like, net loss of bone meal. I wouldn't necessarily use this to farm bone meal because you are using as much to spread the moss as you gain from composting the moss again, in most cases, but it's still a pretty good method, I think. Once again, credit to Joel Duggan for suggesting this. This is going to be the subject of the video I'm going to put out on my YouTube channel tomorrow as well. I'll show you after this how far I've got with mining out a whole chunk, because that took several hours earlier and I'm still not done. But the process of mining out a chunk directly downwards is actually fairly time consuming. Hey, Low Fat, welcome in. Don't know what the new level for mining diamonds is. There kind of isn't one. Just get, like, as low down in the world as you can, really. Like, I'm sure somebody has come up with a graph that shows, like, better percentages for where you can mine diamonds, but really it's still up for debate a little bit because the world generation is still undergoing several changes and rebalances, so you'll find that we don't really know conclusively what the best level for mining diamonds is. And we won't until a little while from now. Like, all of this is still subject to change. Obviously, right now we could level out the floor with a pickaxe. That might work a little bit better for us, but again, we're getting more resources to compost by doing it this way. Why negative 55? So if the vein spirals down, at least it's a bit above bedrock. That works for me. I think basically anywhere that there are likely to be lava lakes. We also don't have to worry, or we do have to worry about how the warden is going to factor into some of this stuff, because we don't know where it's going to spawn in the world yet. So that is still a concern. The trick to this, especially since I had to cheat the moss block in because I don't have lush caves in this world, is to always keep at least one moss block on you. That way you never have to go and find more. you think they're going to remove the ability of turning blocks into moss? I don't think so, because otherwise then how do you spread it? The fact that moss is able to reproduce this way is great. And it makes it very easy for players who encounter a lush cave to continue the lush cave environment and have an effect on the world. It only affects natural blocks as well, so I mean, all blocks are ignored. Any kind of crafted blocks like stone bricks and everything, it will ignore those. It's not really going to be possible to grief stuff with it. Unless the stuff is made extensively out of stone, and even in those cases, you're going to find moss is not the most effective tool to do that. I don't think this method is particularly overpowered either. Like, sure, it destroys the blocks that you're working with around here, but like, I don't think this is any more or less broken than insta-mining with a haste beacon, you know? It's slightly more accessible, but it's a little bit awkward to do. I know it won't convert obsidian into moss. It works on stone and stone variants, but not like crafted stone materials like bricks and whatnot. And once again, the fact that you can't really do anything to replace blocks laterally or blocks like outside of the radius of the cave that we're in right now. Like, I can't move the moss into the walls and then break a tunnel into the walls, you know? That's sort of how, conventionally speaking, branch mining and stuff works, and those are still the most effective ways of finding diamonds. This is just an interesting option to me. Fesla, thanks so much for 11 months. Almost a nerd. Thank you so much, Fesla. Hope you're well. Thorns is the worst enchantment in the game. Changed my mind. Bane of Arthropods exists. Checkmate. No, I don't really like Thorns either, to be fair. The lush caves with moss in the 08B snapshot? No. No, they're only in the 10A snapshot right now. They've said they want to get cave generation closer to what 08B had, though. So I'm interested to see how cave generation starts to change again. If we get a snapshot this week. Which I might come to a little bit later, because tomorrow is my partner's birthday. So we're probably going to be spending some time together. Doing what, I'm not certain, but probably just having a nice day together. Any trident enchantment in a peaceful world is the worst enchantment? No, if you got Riptide, you can still go flying with it. I am personally in favor of Riptide. I need to clear out some space in my inventory just so I'm not running out of space for all of these blocks all the time. Speaking of which, let's bundle some more stuff. Let's do that. Organizational system has a few flaws, but it's ultimately not bad. So I think what we're going to do is just take out some of these blocks around the outside here. Yeah, and I think that's just got like 1 or 2 blocks around the outside now. Is walking on moss quieter than walking on deep slate? I mean, they're kind of about the same. The moss just has like a more grassy sound. Alright, so this is going to be our canvas. And we're going to mine downwards from here and see how we get on. We take out the ore blocks as we go as well. Opinions on moss layers idea? I mean, having like multiple layers of moss carpet? Honestly, I think just moss carpet is enough. I want them to add sand layers before they add layers of anything else, personally. And this is now my problem, is getting up to the bone meal machine is difficult. But oh boy, do we have a lot of blocks to deposit now. Stupid tall grass. This is certainly a very peaceful way to get diamonds in a deep slate cave environment. Means you don't have to go messing around with all the mobs in the bigger caves. I think ultimately having double composters and double hoppers set up is going to be better for bone meal production, so you have less time spent waiting around for bone meal to be created. We've almost completely broken the axe as well. That's on 47 durability now. We can track how many axes we've used through the like times broken stat here, so it doesn't matter if the axes break. It's not like this world is permanent. We're not going to get mending. Can't convert either of those villages to a different occupation now that they're locked in, so we couldn't get mending from either of them. Yeah, I think ladders is going to be the way we get up and down from here, so... Hop, hop. Nope, that's not going to happen. Let's craft some ladders. Let's go up the side there. can hear zombies through the neighboring wall. The trick is really just to find the best place to bone meal. Which I found that usually if there's like an exposed corner, then that is the best because it has like lots of different directions in which the moss can go. Whereas sometimes if you bone meal like a flat section, it's going to generate moss back on itself and throw a ton of grass at you. Which is not what I would prefer. Alright, that is one axe down. Can totally picture making a base this way. Yeah, it's a great way to clear out blocks. Again, I really don't think this is going to be superior to just insta-mining. I mean, it technically is insta-mining, just a different form, but I mean, like, haste beacon mining. But then haste beacon mining isn't going to work in deepslate, so... A viable alternative, question mark? We'll see, I suppose. See how many people adopt this. I know the Psycraft lot are already looking at machines that can make a perimeter using moss. And just be able to, like, use pistons to break it and stuff. So evidently, the properties of moss have caught the attention of folks in the technical community. Why use an axe when you can punch moss? Because an axe breaks it instantly, punching it does not. For example, if I break all of this by hand, not insta-mining. If I break it all with an axe, insta-mining. The point is to turn deepslate into a block that can be mined instantly, and moss will not replace any of the ore blocks. Unfortunately, you do end up creating tall grass. Alright. That has more or less filled out that area. Yeah, it's still pretty fast, but pretty fast versus insta-mining, right? Like, overall, you're going to save yourself so much more time. It's like the difference between mining with an efficiency diamond pickaxe and mining with haste 2 as well. That's really where the similarity begins. Like, efficiency mining is still fine. Haste mining is instant. Clearing this room out like this by punching would take a much longer amount of time, really. And now we are negative 28. But interestingly enough, even though they've given us something like this, like a mechanic like this to work with, caving is still going to be better. And I think that's an interesting thing, because people are going to be looking for, like, okay, what's the thing that means I don't have to cave? Because that's the philosophy we've been used to for the last little while. How can we make it so we don't have to cave because caving is boring? The thing is now, caving is both the best thing to do and also the more interesting thing to do. Caving is much better now. What am I growing? Moss. Although what I'm actually growing is diamonds. Hopefully. We'll see. The theory here is that all of the ore blocks have now been reduced in terms of their air exposure, so if you find ores in caves, that's fine, but you're not necessarily finding all of the ore blocks because a lot of them are concealed behind the walls. And so instead of going mining through the walls that way, we are exposing those blocks from the top down by using moss to break all of the deep slate. Or rather, by converting all the deep slate to moss and then breaking it very easily using axes. Can you start a fire and get rid of the moss that way? I don't know if moss burns yet. And if it does, then cool, but then you just have a room on fire. You don't have any more moss to gather more bone meal. Then you can't spread the moss any further. So yeah, ultimately not going to be very helpful. Bone meal is kind of the key to this whole operation. If you have a skeleton spawner, then that's obviously a different story, but this is a brand new Snapshot world that I started today, so I have not. We found a zombie spawner, but not a skeleton spawner. See, this is what I mean about the moss spread. Sometimes it generates, like, a big patch like that. Sometimes it generates, like, a 3x4 patch, and some of it overlaps with what you've already generated, and then you end up with very little actual progress getting made. And once again, that feels like a waste of bone meal. The pink moss is just moss. The pink moss is pink azalea. It's flowering azalea. Which are basically like little saplings, but you can't grow trees with them yet. Not certain if they're going to or not, but they also have not confirmed whether azalea is a unique type of wood. Right now, azalea trees will generate on the surface in a lush cave world, but they just give you oak wood right now. See, I'm staying fairly consistent in terms of the amount of bone meal I have available to me. It all really depends on how efficiently you can use it at floor level. Liara gifting a sub to Low Fat. Thank you so much for gifting that sub. Very generous of you. Thank you. Be interesting if you'd use shears on the flowery bit of azalea trees to get the bush as a sapling of it. Like, sort of like shearing the head off a snow golem then. They had oak wood in Minecraft Live, but that didn't mean much. And yeah, I think it was just like, it's still a placeholder, effectively, is what it is. Yeah, like you take a cutting of the bush somehow. It's an interesting option, I'll give you that. Yeah, I would still like azalea to have its own wood type. I'm not certain what it would look like, but... What if you could shear the flowers off, then use those to craft leaves made of all pink flowers? I would really like that, because I really like the flowering cherry kind of trees. Be very good for, like, Japanese-inspired builds. Let's go and compost the rest of this. Love different colored leaves for seasonality. Yeah. I think a few people's texture packs have birch leaves as, like, more autumnal kind of red and yellow leaves. Ali Jubilee dungeons do spawn under Y0. They spawn with regular cobble, which I honestly think is still okay because it makes them stand out a lot. It makes them very easy to spot. In the same way that finding mossy cobble in the overworld caves is like, oh wait, this is clearly something special here, a dungeon. Because cobble only generates naturally if it's like water and lava flowing together or a dungeon. Which makes it more recognizable. Whereas deep slate and deep slate cobble don't really look that different. Like, there's a very different texture to each of them, but in terms of color palette and, like, recognizing it at a glance, you're not really gonna be able to discern the difference. Whereas natural stone is a lot flatter in terms of the texture, so suddenly the texture, like, really pops when it's cobblestone. Still such a thrill to find cobblestone when caving. Amazingly, for such a mundane block, yeah. Still trying to keep this area fairly evenly lit. I also really wish I could record this using replay mod right now, but obviously, even though Fabric is pretty good at coming out for the snapshots, replay mod is not exactly here. I also don't know if replay mod has anything to update now that Minecraft is using a more recent version of OpenGL. Cracked, tiled, mossy, deep slate, cobble, stairs, and slabs, right? We're getting very low on wood here, but I need more ladders. I reckon we're going to do this for another 15-20 minutes, and then we'll probably wrap up the stream there. I've done more or less what I wanted to do, but we're at Y-32 right now, which is actually roughly where I'm at with the other hole I'm digging in my test world. I'll show you that briefly before we wrap up the stream, but you'll see it again in tomorrow's video. Got a big old time-lapse of that. Is moss the new mining method? Is it? That is really up for you to decide, I think, at this point. It's certainly very good at insta-mining deep slate. But then is insta-mining deep slate this way worth it? My inventory's getting all full of junk again. Let's throw some of this stuff in the bundles. Put the door in there as well. Doors stack too. Seems useful but not practical long term. Yeah. I think it's an interesting way of exposing blocks inside tunnels. Not inside tunnels, but like inside areas of these lower levels of the world if a lot of ores are going to be deliberately generated inside of walls instead of exposed to the open air. This is really where the bone meal supply starts to kick into high gear, though, because we've done a few layers of this now. We're starting to get more of a return on our investment for bone meal. This is still composting loads of stuff. And we have an area of floor that we can bone meal more kind of like strategically to spread the moss. Getting this done in like the least number of bone meal possible is kind of what you want to aim for. And aiming for the corners, I find, helps have a greater chance of covering a broader area. Occasionally you have to break a moss carpet for that to happen. There we go. That's pretty much all of that taken care of. And once again, without that villager trade, though, we'd have to use iron axes for this or find diamonds before we could start doing this. So the villager trade aspect is fairly important. But you won't really find another way of insta-mining deepslate. Once again, the problem is it really insta-mining if you aren't getting any blocks out of it? Because you get the precious resources, but you don't walk away with any deepslate of your own. My voice sounded kind of off in the first part of today's Spawn Chunks episode. The reason for that is because my PC turned off about an hour and a half into the recording, including the pre-show that we record for our patrons. And I mentioned that on Twitter, so congratulations if you just read that on my Twitter and came here to tell me that. But no, that I did mention it on Twitter, that the first, like, hour or so of today's Spawn Chunks episode is the backup recording that Joel made, which is just my audio through Discord. So we always both record both of us to separate tracks, and then we just merge the two microphone outputs, but... And yeah, my PC has not done that since. I do think it was just like a very temporary power flicker, that because my my computer is on like a surge protected strip, like it just temporarily kind of lost power. All that meant was that, you know, I lost the recording that was happening at the time, but nothing else important was really lost, so... You couldn't tell the difference? I mean, that is a fairly decent Discord audio call quality. And a little bit of post-production. But also, I think, compressing the audio for the podcast is also, you know, part of it, really. But yeah, if folks have listened to the podcast, this is the moss mining method that Joel was proposing towards the end of yesterday's episode. Oh, Ginger gifting a sub to Xylephian. Thank you so much. That very generous gift sub. Not that you can tell down here, but I am using the Blustery Day shaders resource pack, Xylephian, and I had some initial troubles with it, but it was just having some conflicts with my other resource packs, so all of the trees on the surface and the water were swaying in the breeze while we were exploring earlier. How many diamonds so far? We found 4 earlier. That is basically it. The problem, of course, being that diamond generation doesn't necessarily occur in huge amounts in such a small area, right? So obviously as we go further down in the world, if we get lucky, we'll find a bunch, but you're going to find a lot more diamonds by exploring laterally than exploring vertically. You'll find more diamonds on the XY axis or the XZ axes than you will on the Y axis. But this is just an interesting method of clearing out an area. It's also relatively safe because we're able to control the size of this area, but you can see where the cave bottomed out before and how far down we have come now. It's pretty fun. And yes, does involve a lot of ladders. $35 bone meal still, pretty good. Be good for creating an area for a farm? Yes. Is moss always instant bone meal? It is, yeah, it spreads quite well, so... Say if I put this block in here, bone meal at once, you get a more or less, I guess, like a 5x4 area, or a 7x4, roughly. And then it expands outwards as you bone meal it. Bone mealing the corners seems to work pretty well for me. Just to make sure that you're covering like a decent spread of an area. But I think this method, while it seems like it should be really broken, is actually pretty well balanced with other methods of finding resources, you know? This is not going to be like the new easy way of mining. And as you saw, it took 2 hours of prep before we were even able to get to this point. And I would have had to find a lush cave as well, which wasn't necessarily a guarantee. I mean, in this world it's an impossibility, but... in Final World Gen. Are there any new things in the snapshot? I mean, this is the snapshot from last week that introduced Lush Cave world generation to the single biome custom world options. But now I've had a chance to do a little bit more exploration in Lush Caves. I wanted to see what it was like using the resources for some more technical stuff. Use weeping vines instead of ladders? Yeah, if I'd been to the nether already, I would consider it. Unfortunately, cave vines cannot be climbed. Alright, let's keep one moss block on me. I could always take some from the walls around here if I needed to, but... Early to mid-game precious resources gathering method? Yeah, because you're not going to get anything else out of this if you're composting the moss blocks like I am. I mean, we are still, technically speaking, pretty early game here, but I got lucky finding the igloo, so we got some very cheap diamond axes. Seems like a fun, cool concept to mining, but not sure I'd use it. Minecraft World Timeline, I'm not sure where it fits due to the prep work. Yeah, I think... Oh, hello, there's our next set of diamonds. When we end up with the kind of finalized cave generation, people are just going to want to explore anyway, you know? This is much more do it because it's possible, not do it because it's better or fun or easier. Just the fact that it's a concept Joel came up with yesterday and it actually works, like, is viable, is pretty fun to me. There we go, 2 more diamonds. And yeah, there's a cave nearby somewhere because I hear zombies and stuff behind the walls. Where do we put the diamonds before? Oh, they're just in the inventory. Alright, we'll leave them there for now. I was looking around for a chest and then I realised that I'd turned all my wood into composters. Having 2 people around, one doing bone meal and the other mining might make this quick. I mean, true, but those 2 people will also have a quicker time going through a cave together, probably, you know? Multiplayer caving. And also, like, there are so many things that you could do to upgrade this as a method. You know, bring the villagers down here to trade you axes, for one thing. Have a skeleton spawner nearby for easier bone meal, that kind of stuff. You'll find a lot of different ways to improve this, I expect. Like I said, the folks on SciCraft are already trying to make things that convert the local area into moss entirely and then destroy it with pistons to create a perimeter. We are currently at Y -38. We found 2 patches of diamonds so far. I'm interested in getting a little bit lower down just to see if there's any extra ones hidden around here. It's all fun and games until you hit one of those giant caverns and there's a lava lake at the bottom of it. Actually going to remove these blocks on the sides, because those I clearly just like placed a block on at one point and then forgot to remove it as I was digging down. When will SciCraft make an OP slime farm with the new world depth? I think that's why they're experimenting with other things to make a perimeter, because now you have 128 blocks worth of worlds to destroy before you can get to bottom of the world levels. The fact that this has just been renewable bone meal the entire time, though, is making me very happy. Means I don't need to run out and kill skeletons anytime soon. Bottom of the world is now -64, yes. Is it weird you're considering just leaving your world in 1.16? Do you mean like leaving the world and moving on to another world in 1.16, or you just don't want to update to 1.17? Because if so, what is giving you pause for thought, if you don't mind me asking? Not playing 1.17? Yeah, I wonder why, because this update looks like a lot of fun to me. Digging by transforming the slate into moss. Yes. That is the idea. Because moss can be insta-mined by axes. And since deepslate cannot be insta-mined using haste 2 beacons and efficiency pickaxes, it was fun to find another way you could insta-mine it. Just getting sick of new updates that come out with one a year, like every year or so, game-changing updates. I think it all depends on how much time you have, I guess, because for a lot of people, one a year just doesn't seem like enough, but they are probably younger players who have, like, a little bit more free time. I expect for folks who don't game as much, or have, like, a variety of other games they like to play, the update frequency could get a little bit, it could feel like a lot. But, I mean, I'm somebody who plays Minecraft effectively as a full-time job, so for me it's always new approaches to making YouTube videos, that kind of stuff. I think the best thing about Java Minecraft, though, is that you can just carry on playing whatever version you want to for as long as you want, and then if you get bored of that, you can update to some of the more recent ones. You've just updated to 1.16, had to start a new world for it? Really? I guess if you wanted to delete the nether and whatnot, then, yeah, sometimes it makes sense to just start from scratch. Personally, when I was considering updating the survival guide, I was thinking, is the nether update a good time to do it? Because of just how different the nether feels, but I left it for that point because I still had a bunch of projects I wanted to do, and, yeah, cave update definitely seems like the time to do it. To me. Why am I composting the green goop? Because the green goop gets me bone meal, and otherwise I don't have a renewable source of bone meal, which is what I need to spread more of the moss. What would I say are the pros and cons of 1.17? I mean, new features. There's always new stuff added. But then that's a pro and a con for some people, because some people it's like, hey, this is way too much, all of this new stuff. It really depends what you like to play. Like, I don't know what the pros and cons would be for other people. For me, I'm just like, hey, a whole new wonderland of stuff I can make YouTube videos about. Awesome. Oh, hey. We found a mineshaft. Oh, and a geode. Nice. I love it when abandoned mineshafts leads to geodes. That's like some of my favorite new world generation.
Well, that's just prime.
MP Steel, thank you so much for the 4 months. Is moss mining the whole process faster than just mining? Jury's out on that one. Because, like, when you think about going mining, you're not necessarily, like, branch mining or strip mining all the time. Sometimes you go caving, and I don't think it's faster than going caving in terms of getting resources. And as I've been saying this whole time, it doesn't actually leave you with a great deal of blocks, because in my case, I'm turning all of the moss directly back into bone meal. And so when I come away from digging out this whole area, I don't actually have any real, like, blocks. All I have is the rare resources that I find along the way. But, like, is it faster than mining through this amount of deep slate? Yes. Is it as productive as mining through this amount of deep slate? Not really, because you can only really spread the moss downwards. Or, like, you can spread it along the floor of this cave, but then you dig out that layer and then you spread it again, and then you effectively you're working your way downwards over time instead of sideways. And sideways is what's going to get you more diamonds. It also costs you a lot of diamond axes in this case, but hey, who's counting? Yeah, we're getting deeper. I mean, the cave started here. Like, when we found this cave, it was just like a little kind of spheroid down here, and the bottom of the cave was about there. We have dug it all the way down. Time for axe number 3. I think we've broken 2 so far. Oh, we've broken 3 so far. Okay, so this is technically axe number 4. But again, we got all of these for 1 emerald from a trader, so... No, Snake, this isn't a Lush Cave world. This is the latest Snapshot, but in a normally generated world. And I just spawned in the moss block, because I wanted to make sure I could get easily traded axes, and villages don't generate in a Lush Cave only world because there are no structures. Or the only structures are ruined nether portals and abandoned mine shafts. What am I planning for the new survival guide season? Explaining from scratch like the first season? Yeah. One of the things I was thinking about doing, which is kind of a break from the format of the last season, is to do an episode 0 where I talk about what you do before you even load up your first world. So, like, installing Minecraft, going through, like, a few of the settings, a few bits and pieces like that. And I have, like, a couple of notes on that process. Not like I have notes in terms of, like, you know, not like producer notes. I'm not, like, critiquing the process. I mean, just, like, I've started taking notes already for, hey, here's some useful stuff that I could include. Because people always ask, like, what are your video settings and stuff? And I don't really want to just make an episode of Survival Guide about that normally, because that's not really a tutorial. That's just, like, me showing you my setup. But then I think if you do an episode 0, you can kind of talk your way through everything. There's a guy, whose name I forget, but he was showcased on Minecraft.net recently, who is a visually impaired guy. He's blind. And he does basically like a blind Let's Play. But he's got the narrator set up a certain way, and he has a certain amount of, like, the accessibility features turned on, so that he shows you, like, how he can play Minecraft. And he has, like, the first episode of his Let's Play is like an episode 0 where he talks you through all of the settings and stuff that he uses, just so other visually impaired people, or just, you know, people who are interested in understanding how he plays the way he does, can see all of the setup and stuff. And while obviously I'm an able-bodied person, I'm got pretty good eyesight, I can at least show people, like, what my video settings are at. And people often ask, like, why does your Minecraft look different to the way my Minecraft looks? And for some people that's, like, Bedrock Edition renders stuff slightly differently, like water and that kind of stuff. But yeah, for some people it's just like, I have smooth lighting turned all the way up, and I don't use dynamic lighting with Optifine, so a torch in my hand won't produce light like some of the other YouTubers you might have watched, you know, that kind of stuff. And so I want to go through all of those settings and kind of explain to people how I set up Minecraft. And then probably also talk about world generation, talk about the controls, do all of that stuff before I... Oh, hello. Before I even get into generating my survival guide world for season 2. Starting to get a little bit jittery now because I think we've got, like, lighting updates happening in the mine shaft here. Man, I love geodes. I love geodes so much. They're so good. I like the combination of deep slate ores and regular ores in these veins as well. It's a really fun way of setting this whole area up. Hoop. A fun way of filling the inventory. Aha! But wait. We can bundle these. To be honest, I should just have the bundles in here and just like use them to grab bits like that. Because then they don't even need to be in my inventory. I'm coming back to this chest often enough anyway. The looks of it, normal ores generate in tough patches. They seem to, yeah. And I noticed that also in the lush caves where there was clay. So blocks that are already kind of overworld blocks. Or surface blocks, I suppose. I still don't know. I've talked about this on streams before. We talked about it on the podcast as well. I don't know what the terminology is for, like, deep slate caves and the caves above. Like, talking about it just by numerical coordinates always feels like... I don't know, just feels so awkward to me. That, like, saying caves above 0, caves below 0 doesn't feel as cool as saying, like, you know, the way everyone talks about, like, layers below Y16 in current Minecraft worlds as diamond level. I don't know what that is now in this update. Like, I don't know what we call each of the levels of the world. I've been thinking of the areas below 0 as deep slate levels or caverns, but we don't really have a way to describe the stone layers of the world. And just saying stone layers doesn't quite feel like it has the gravitas that all of this deserves, you know? Hello. You're right down there. Having a minute. I think the rails are confusing them. Deep caves sounds good. I mean, yeah. But I feel like as a community we have not really settled on one term for them yet, you know? Like, I haven't heard that many people use phrases in other videos that have really stuck with me. Probably means I just need to watch more people's videos. I'm sure somebody out there is nailing it right now. Afino with the 12 months. Finally a nerd. As if you weren't one before. Thank you so much for the 12 months of support. Everyone spam the word nerd in the chat. Got a brand new 12-month resub. Welcome to the Nerd Herds. Thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot. Hey, there it is. Still one of my favorite things. Seeing everyone call somebody else a nerd in all caps. Is that a skeleton? I've got an arrow in my shoulder, so I'm guessing yes. Hey, Frog Queen, welcome in. We are real close to wrapping up here, but we've had a heck of a time moss mining today. We're all nerds in one way or another. Sure we are. Sure we are. The deeps layers. Just looking for terms that aren't, like, super awkward to say. Like, it's got to be something that rolls off the tongue. Like, diamond level always just felt right, you know? It was a descriptor, but it also sounded good as a term. Yeah, we were going to wrap up the stream about here. What level are we at right now? Negative 46 on the y-axis. I'm mostly just worried about the amount of creepers and stuff that are in this mine shaft. I'm slightly curious about where it all goes. Other than the geode over here. What's it all about? A little bit of redstone around here. Bit of cave lichen trying to desperately cling to this fence post. I mean, a whole lot of redstone in this mine shaft. It's clearly what they were looking for. Call it down under, yeah, right. Minecraft Australia! Hello? Alright, 2 seconds. We got something very important to do. Checking that creeper didn't follow me. This one did, though. I love watching them try and push through cobwebs. Been mining for ages and not found a single piece of iron? Oh, same. I found a lot more when I got down to about Y16. Now, where did I leave this? Give me a second. Let's throw some of this in there. A little bit of iron ore and stuff. Oh, I just bundled all of the amethyst up in there as well. There it is. That's what I wanted to do. Yar! Still love the spyglass. What's going on in this mine shaft? Alright, enough of this. I reckon that's where we're going to leave it for today. I will show you very briefly what I was working on in the other world. Worth giving up your shield slot for. So, the mining test world that I set up before. This is a peaceful world, so I set this up without mobs spawning on the surface, so I could just time-lapse going through the process, day and night. I have a few command blocks and stuff set up, but this is an entire chunk that I dug out from surface level, like roughly sea level, Y66-ish, and then right now, I believe this is at Y-32. Yeah. So, this is going to be the main feature of tomorrow's video. Just trying to dig down the entire way only using moss. And it's exactly the same process. Like, my inventory right here is a pickaxe with silk touch, so we can see how much ore we get. Some bone meal. A shovel that I use to get rid of the surface grass, and then some ladders and a diamond axe. And every time I hit this command block button, it gives me another diamond axe, just for not having to spam the command. And then in here is all of the materials that I've got, including bits of an abandoned mine shaft. Still no diamonds. I'm down at Y negative 32 and still no diamonds. But, yeah, world is deep now. World real deep now. And as you can see, from, like, I think a stack of bone meal, I now have more than 2 stacks being generated. So if you use the bone meal efficiently, it really pays off. But anyway, that is where we're going to leave it for this stream. We'll see who else is out here streaming. Thank you so much for being here, folks, for this little experiment. Hope you enjoyed. And hopefully you'll stick around for tomorrow's video where we're going to be doing a little bit more of that. Yeah, we can raid Mr. Casto today. Once again, Chris's stream is not family friendly, so bear that in mind if you're not the type of person who enjoys a bit of foul language occasionally, then please feel free to click away. But this is... oh, he's wearing glasses today as well. What? This is new. Maybe he's getting headaches. We're gonna raid Mr. Casto. He's streaming some Minecraft today. It's been my protege for the last little while, and he's streaming a bit more on his own. He's doing Minecraft Mondays, although I think it didn't work out for him yesterday, so he's streaming today instead. Don't forget, you can use your Pixel Hype emotes in the hashtag PixelRaid. Drop a follow there if you're new and you want to see a bit more of him. We'll probably be doing another collab stream at some point, but he is new to Minecraft, so be nice. Try not to backseat game if possible. And I will see you guys again on Thursday for another stream. I'm probably going to be taking Wednesday off because, once again, my partner's birthday. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. And I should have at least a video out tomorrow. So I'll see you around. Take care. My name's been Pixriffs. Catch you guys soon. Bye for now.